Mindfulness is often described as paying attention to the present moment, yet this description only hints at the experience it points toward. Mindfulness is not simply attention, nor is it limited to formal meditation. It is a quality of awareness, open, receptive, and non-reactive, that allows experience to be known as it is while it is happening. One way to understand this quality of awareness is through fractals. Fractals are forms of organized complexity, patterns that repeat across scales, unfolding without a final resolution. You cannot grasp a fractal all at once, you can only remain with it. In this way, fractals provide a visual analogy for mindfulness itself, an awareness that does not seek closure, but stays present within unfolding experience. In everyday life, awareness is rarely this open. Perception is quickly overtaken by labeling, analysis, and interpretation. We name what we see, judge what we feel, and measure moments against memory or expectation. Experience becomes something to manage rather than inhabit. Mindfulness begins when this reflexive commentary softens, and perception is allowed to stand on its own, much as it does when the eye rests in a fractal image without searching for a central object or meaning. Thought does not disappear in mindfulness. It continues to arise, but thoughts no longer dominate the field of awareness. Thoughts become events within experience rather than its narrator. When viewing a fractal, this shift often happens naturally. In this state, the mind has nothing to solve and no message to decode. Thinking relaxes, and awareness settles into perception itself. Mindfulness is often misunderstood as a performance or a discipline to be mastered. This misunderstanding creates strain. The mind tries to hold focus, suppress distraction, or manufacture calm. Fractals quietly undermine this faulty approach. There is no correct way to look at a fractal, no endpoint to reach. You may linger on a detail, drift away, or take in the whole. The fractal image accommodates this flexible viewing pattern. In doing so, a non-striving relationship is established to experience the fractal. At its essence, mindfulness is a shift in how perception functions. Instead of being driven by urgency and habit, perception becomes curious, patient, and intimate. Fractals encourage this shift by resisting perceptual shortcuts. There is no dominant focal point, no hierarchy of foreground and background. The eye explores, pauses, and returns. Perception becomes exploratory rather than extractive, and awareness begins to follow perception rather than override it. This shift has physiological and emotional consequences. Much of modern stress arises from the nervous system's association between complexity and urgency. An example of stress induced by complexity is the educational test, where complex information must be mastered to obtain a positive result. The testing process places demands on the learner, which usually generates stress. Over time, we learn to be stressed when confronted with a situation that has potential negative consequences. Complex inputs usually signal threat. Fractals recondition this response by presenting complexity without consequence. Over time, the body learns that richness does not require vigilance. Breathing slows, muscular tension eases. Mindfulness becomes embodied rather than merely conceptual. Fractals also change the experience of time. Because they offer no climax or final understanding, attention stops rushing toward resolution. the mind releases its habitual momentum toward outcomes. Time feels less compressed, more spacious. This temporal spaciousness mirrors a core feature of mindfulness, where presence is no longer a narrow slice between past and future, but a living field in which experience unfolds. Self-similarity, a defining characteristic of fractals, further supports this quality of awareness. Patterns repeat across scales. A small region reflects the whole. While viewing a fractal image, wherever attention goes, coherence is found. This visually reinforces a fundamental mindfulness insight, where attending fully to one moment is enough. Fractals embody a core premise of mindfulness that you do not need to grasp the entirety of experience for awareness to be complete. As engagement with a fractal image deepens, the sense of being a separate observer may begin to soften. There is less, "I'm looking at an image," and more, "I'm experiencing the image." Attention flows without commentary. This is not dissociation, but a gentle absorption in which awareness remains clear and present. Many contemplative traditions describe this as a mature expression of mindfulness, yet fractals allow it to arise without effort or belief. Fractals also allow emotional states to surface without narrative. They may evoke calm, awe, unease, or tenderness. Yet these feelings arise without personal stories attached. This trains a crucial mindfulness capacity, the ability to feel emotions directly without being compelled to analyze or act on them. Emotions become experiences rather than problems. Perhaps most importantly, fractals function as mirrors of mind. The image itself does not change, but the experience of it does. On a restless day, a fractal may feel chaotic. On a settled day, harmonious. This reveals a core insight of mindfulness. Perception is always shaped by inner conditions. By noticing this relationship, awareness becomes reflexive. It begins to know itself. Fractals can mirror our state of mind to help us recognize life situations that do not serve us well. Viewing fractal images promotes non-analytical reflection to better understand the state of mind. Life itself unfolds in fractal ways. Patterns repeat across scales. Inner conflicts echo outer situations. Growth is recursive rather than linear. There is order but no final resolution. By learning to rest attention within fractal complexity, one rehearses how to meet unfolding life with openness rather than control. Over time, the fractal image becomes less important than the quality of awareness it evokes. The same open presence begins to appear while listening to music, watching clouds, or breathing quietly. The fractal was never the source of mindfulness. It was a doorway. Mindfulness, then, is not something to acquire or pursue to perfection. Like a fractal, it is something to enter again and again, each time discovering that the depth was already there.